Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on what part of the world you are in. I am Old Man 102. Welcome back to the channel. And I thought we would do something a little bit different today. I normally come home from work and record two videos, usually a farm sim video and then a car dealer simulator or one of the various games I'm usually working on for the channel. Now, farm sim views have been down a bit, and I'm working on a new map, and when I get home from work I only have time to get two videos done, dinner, clean up the kitchen, go to bed, and I only have time to work on the map on the weekend. So I thought I would try something different. So instead of recording a farm sim video, I figured we'd come in and work on something in Giants Editor on a new map I'm working on. So let me just give you a quick, it's a 4X map, and as you can see we have a lot of work to do. I have the road system in, the traffic system's in. I have the gas station in with all of its triggers, a little cafe. We're going to put a sell point there. I just don't have it in the map yet. Right over here, vehicle shop is in. You cannot see it in the editor, but it'll spawn in as a placeable. Animal dealer is working with all of its triggers. And then I have like the police station and the hospital, and we're gonna put a little sell point there as well. And then let me just throw a little bit of speed on here a second. Zoom out for you. So the map is pretty much 4 squares this size here, right in the center of the map, and then there's 16 larger squares around the outside of the map. So your animal dealer is right here. I'm thinking about putting a bridge here to go to the main farm. I still might add that in. And then we have the bridge going from the vehicle shop in. But this whole square, I want to do a massive main farm. Probably one field. And then I'm going to get all the animals in, a big silo complex, bunch of farm buildings. And then, like I said, all of the animal pens on here. So I started working on, let me take my speed back down. I started working on the farmhouse. Now I spawned the farmhouse in. I don't have it completely set up yet. But the farmhouse was just a house. So I started adding all the decorative elements to it. So if you want to sell off the farmhouse, you'll be able to sell all of this off with it at the same time. Now I also want to fence in this entire complex, and I want to tie it into the house. So if you sell the house, you're going to actually sell the fencing that's going to go all the way around the house at the same time. So there is a fence pack I brought in. I don't have it imported into a map, but I have it in the map file. So let's go, or did I? Let me see if I imported it into the map files. If I did, it would be in the remove folder. So I don't need to keep any of these i3ds. I did bring the fence in. So I don't need to keep any of these i3ds in the map. Once we import them into the map, I don't need them in the file any longer. So this is my hedge set. We'll delete that once we're done with the farmhouse. So let's go file, imports, bring in the fence, and I'm just going to drop it here. Yeah, so it's going to be, I think it's just one pole and one fence. It is, so it's one pole and one panel. Yeah, so it's one pole, one panel. So it's going to be pretty much, I'm going to extend it out a little bit longer. We are going to make it a little bit longer because I do want to circle the entire farm with it. So inside the farmhouse, I have some subfolders. So we're going to create a new transform group. I'm going to cut it from there. I'm going to throw it back into here. We're going to name it fence. Ooh. And then I'm going to actually create another transform group. And I'm going to put it inside of this one. And then we're going to start that transform group right here. Oh, I did not want to do that. So let's come back here. This transform group, edit, interactive placement, bam. We're going to grab this fence and I am going to cut it out of there. I'm going to throw it into here. And we're going to throw that here. Now this will be the outside of the fence. Let's go 0, 0, 0. So it's square to the world. Oh, sorry. That was our translation. Yeah, so 0, 0, 0. And then our rotation is going to be 180, 0, 180. So that puts it square to the world. Now I want to take the panel, and I think I want to make the panel a little bit longer, so we may take that up to, let's see what 1.5. Sometimes it distorts the texture, but I think we're going to go with that. And now let me back that up. So I didn't have just the fence, I had just the panel. So a little bit closer to the road, a little bit closer to the drive. I think I'm going to back it up a little. That's going to give me room for a mailbox there, I believe. Actually, yeah, so that'll give us room for a mailbox. So now it's just going to be a matter of duplicate and drag until we get some of these together, and then we'll move the whole transform group. But I do want to fence in. It's going to take us a bit. I do want to fence in the entire property. Now, I'm going to record pretty much our videos during the week. I'm not going to record like every single aspect of the map build, but instead of recording a farm sim video, we will record a GE, working in GE video. And they'll be a little bit longer on the weekends. So now they got a bunch of them in place, we can actually take this whole transform group, duplicate it, and drag it down. So that's going to make it a little bit quicker to put this fence in. I know Dixie hates fences, so we're going to fence this in. It looks like the collisions are in place, I believe, I hope. I didn't check that before I... please tell me you have a rigid body. Oh, that's not looking good. Yeah, so there's the rigid body, and then there's the collision. The collision's invisible, so we are good. So did I get that one where I wanted it? I did. So we are going to duplicate that again, slide it down. Puts it in a little bit more manageable sections to work on. Sorry, I'll be zooming in and out a lot as we build this. So let's duplicate that again. It's going to put it into the road, I believe. it is. So since we're going to alter this one, I am going to rename it corner. So I know it has a little bit of a bend to it. So we're going to take this one and we're going to start curving it with the road. So this one I'm going to delete, and this one I'm going to delete, and this one I want to try and get a little bit of a bend in it. And then we'll curve it around until we go straight again. So curve it a little bit more. A little bit further. Actually, I don't like that last one. So let's actually, I don't like that one either. Let's bring this one let's bring this one in a little bit further. Give it just a little bit of a curve. Yeah, a little bit better. Give that one a little bit of a curve. That one a little bit of a curve. Till we get back to, so we'll go minus 90 on this one. Now we're back square to the world, and it's not as far off the road as I would like. So we're going to cheat some of these a little bit. So I'm going to slide this one back a little bit, give it a little bit more of a curve. We'll pull this one back a little bit further, give it a little bit of a curve. Same thing with this one. Pull this one back a little bit. And we'll pull this one back a little bit. And it gets it pretty much where I want it. So now, this is our corner piece. So I'm going to grab this transform group because we know it's straight. And we'll just bring it over and put it in place and continue with our straight sections. And let me try and get it. That's actually about right. Is it off the road as far as that? Yeah, that's right. A little bit of grass will show on this side of the road. Yep, so we'll be fine. By the time we paint the grass in, or paint the meadow in, I should say. So I try and get like one field here on the main farm complex. That'll work. See if we can get at least this farmhouse finished this episode. And then we'll spawn it in as a placeable and see what it looks like in game. Now, before I go further with this, I do want to put an entrance to the farm on this side, but I don't want it like all the way to the end of the bridge. So I think I want to, again, I'm just going to paint in a temporary little road. I'm going to go dirt. Yeah, and I'm going to go about half the width of the road. Well, inside the farm, I like to go a little bit larger than half. Normally, if I would put it like half the width of the road, but being it's going to be in farm, we're going to have a bunch of big machinery on it. And I want to leave some room to put a row of trees along the water. So we don't need fence along the water. I'm not going to run the fence all the way back to the water and then curve it around here. We'll put trees along there, but I do want to leave room for a road. So we're going to have a road coming. Again, this is just going to be really, really rough. I just want to have a road coming in somewhere about here. This way I know where to put the break in my fence. We may take the fence all the way around, I'm not sure yet. But I don't think we need to. So that road is definitely a little bit wider than I want, but that's fine. So let's come down here. And we'll bring this one down a couple more lengths. And then on this side, what we're going to do is we're going to take the pole, we're going to duplicate it, and we'll slide it down here so we'll have an end cap on it. So since I changed this transform group, I'm going to put I'm just going to put the word end on the end, just so I know it has a little bit of an end cap on the end of it. I'm going to take this transform group. I'm going to duplicate it and we're going to slide it down, and it gives me the opening to our fence. Again, I want it wide enough to get farm equipment through there, and then we'll duplicate it again. We will slide her down, and that puts us right at the bridge, which is perfect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come and we're going to open this transform group. We're going to open up this fence, and we're going to get rid of the panel, and we'll end with a post there. So I'm on this one, I'm just going to go saying that that section is a short section. And I can even go short and just so I know it's a shorter than the rest of it, and it has an end on it. So that's gets us about halfway around the farm. And again, it's all connected to the farmhouse, so if you don't like it, you can sell the farmhouse off, and you will sell all the fencing off with it. Let me do a quick save, grab a quick sip of hot tea. And then we're going to come back up. We're going to grab this first transform group, and I'm going to flip it back this way, but we're going to take, and I'm going to name this one left, because we're going to grab the pole from this end. We are going to go edit, cut. I'm going to delete it from there. We're going to throw it into this one, and then we're just going to slide it down. So that puts us an end cap on this side and open on this side. So now what we can do is we could take this transform group. Now it's going to be a little bit harder to work with, because instead of having my little bug on this side, it's going to be on this side. But I can still duplicate it and drag it. It's just going to be a little bit harder to line it up. Now I could go down to the other corner and work backwards, but I want to get myself out to that corner. I really don't like working in this direction, just because I'm so used to working in the opposite direction. It just takes a little bit longer. But I hope everyone is doing well today. It is actually Monday the 15th of December as I record this. I'm actually working 3.5 days and then off 3.5 days. So I work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday I only work half a day, and I'm off half a day Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Sunday, which puts us into Christmas week. And in Christmas week I only work Monday and Tuesday, and I'm off 5 days. And then the week between Christmas and New Year's I only work Monday and Tuesday, and then I'm off for 5 days. So it should be a pretty good stretch. Now let's get us out to the corner. And again, the last one actually fell into place pretty well. We could start curving it. So let's leave that there for a minute. So we know we're going to have a road. Again, I'm just going to rough one in. We're going to change it later, but so we're going to have a road coming up this way out of the vehicle shop, and then it's gonna actually run over this one. I want to do another exit on this side of the yard, and then we're gonna have this road come up and curve something like this, and we're actually going to go out that way. So again, this just rough. We're going to fix it up a little bit, but that'll get us our road going out that way. That'll get us our road going out this way, and then from here we're going to have another road that pretty much is going to run straight up through to the farm. So I want to put a bit of a field on this side to get us started, and then we'll have the big farmyard over here with all the animal pastures and stuff. So what I may do is let's just rough in where this is going to come back as well. Again, we'll change this up a little bit as we go. Now, since I like working in the other direction, we are going to grab one of these full transform groups. I'm going to duplicate it. We're going to go Edit, Interactive Placement. I'm going to stick it here, and it is going to be in the correct direction. It will be. Yes, it will. So let's go. Let's get it where I want it, away from the road, about there. We put it around here. We should be able to get some implements in and out of the farmyard. I'm going to leave it there for a second. I'm going to duplicate it again. Let's drag it down. I'm just going to leave that there for a second. We're going to come back to this one, and I'm just going to go end. We're going to come down to this last fence, and we're going to remove the panel. And now we have this one to work with. And let's come down just a little bit further, and then what I'm going to do is we're going to take this one. You're my first panel, you are. We're going to take this pole. And I'm going to go edit, cut. We're going to throw it into this one. And then we're just going to slide it down. Yep. And then I'm going to just start pulling this one up towards. Is that the right way around? Hang on. Nope. Completely backwards. I thought that was wrong. Let's delete that one. Let's delete that one. Let's delete that one. Let's start all over again. So we're going to take one of the transform groups up here. I thought it was backwards. I'm going to duplicate it, edit, interactive placement. We're going to stick it here, but it's the wrong way round. So let's go -90. Let's get it close to the road where I want it. We're going to pull this one down to about here. There we go. That looks better. I'm going to leave that one there for a minute. We're going to slide this one down. And then this one, we're going to name end because we're going to alter it. And we're going to take this last fence. Nope. Wrong one. Let's get rid of the word end. This is the one I needed to alter. End. Now we're going to take that last fence. Yep. We're going to come in here. We're going to duplicate the pole. Control D. That's all I'm doing. And we're going to bring that up to the end. That puts an end cap on that one. Now this one, like I said, I want it wide enough where we can get some wide implements through there. And then this one we're going to go up and meet up with our corner. So this gives, so I'm going to kill two birds with one stone. So there's not going to be any farm sim videos. So, well, I'm recorded out through the 21st with farm sim videos. I'm just going to record GE videos for a little bit. And we'll see if it gets any views. But I thought I'd give you a different angle of actually, instead of watching me play and working in the editor, so building instead of playing. And then you'll get a feel for how much work actually goes into a map, because it's probably going to take me a week just to get the farmyard in the way I want it, with all the buildings, all the sheds, all the animals, all the animal pens. It gets us close to the corner, so we're going to alter this one, so let's call this one corner. So let's take this one and we'll start moving it in. So let's take, crap, which one are you? You are this one. So let's, nope, not that one. This one, nope. This one. So let's actually turn you a little bit and slide it in. We'll compensate a little bit. Try and get it lined up with this one. Now what I'm going to do is let's cheat this one in a little bit. So we're going to go a little bit longer on this one. It's hard to see where it is. Let me try and get it closer lined up with this one. Try and get the angle right. Out a little bit further. Yeah, so what we'll do is we'll cheat this one a little bit longer. We will cheat this one a little bit longer. And then we will grab the pull from this one. And we'll bring it down. We'll turn it a little bit. We'll take this one and we'll split the difference. Well, let me pull this one down. And we'll take this one, we'll make it a little bit longer. That'll work. And then let's actually take this whole pole. Yeah, you have 2 poles. Just curve that in a little bit. And we'll curve the panel in a little bit. And that's going to be our fence. Let's do another quick save. I like to save often because I've already lost like an hour's worth of work. Do something wrong in the editor crashes, and then you end up losing all your progress up to the last save. So that's good. That's everything I want to do to the farmhouse. So when we go in the game, we sell the farmhouse. It'll sell the fence with it. Now I'm debating whether I want to put a fence along this back side or not. We can always add it in later. Do I want to sneak a fence? I don't know if I'm going to like that clip distance. I may have to go in and adjust these clip distances. Now it's going to be a pain because now I'm going to have to adjust the clip distance piece by piece. What do they have it set at? They only have it set at 80. Yeah, I should have bumped that up. Now it helps with the FPS, but we'll see what it looks like in game. I may not like it. I may go back in and adjust all the clip distances. Now I don't have this spawning in as a placeable yet, so we can make a bunch of changes to it. So let's do another quick save. And let's jump in game. Because I'm building into my mods folder, we can actually look at it in game. Now I've got a recording program running in the background, so it's going to take a little bit longer for my maps to open. Now I like to turn on this so I can see any errors or warnings as the map loads. Now the ones we're going to get are for vehicles because I'm loading all of my mods with the map, and there's a couple of vehicles throwing warnings, but no big deal. Nothing game breaking. So you'll see me turn this on a lot when I'm loading every time I put something in the game, I like to go in to make sure it's going to spawn in error free. I like fixing the errors as I go. I don't like fixing them at the very end. So as you see, the vehicle shop is here and working. I'm going to just grab this truck. And I want to see what the clip distance looks like on that fence. Beat the bus out? We can. Okay, I'm going to go around the circle backwards. I just want to get over to where this fence is going to be. It's just, oversteer to see what it looks like. Alright, so it's going to spawn in as we drive. Okay, that's actually not bad. And actually, clip distance on that's not bad. So it'll spawn in as we're going. It'll help with the FPS. Yeah, I can live with that. So you'll actually see it spawning in as we drive, but anything to help the FPS out. Yeah, so that should be wide. Hopefully that's going to be wide enough. And we'll put flowers and stuff in here and where the house is going to be. I'm going to put the dog house in here as well. But I just want to make sure. Okay, those have collisions. Uh-oh. Yep, fence has a collision. Yep, that has a collision, so we're not going to be able to walk through it. I like to check the collisions as I build because they're a pain in the butt to fix afterwards. Alright, so I think that's going to be the farmhouse. Now let's get it spawning in. Well, not quite. Yeah, let's get it spawning in as a placeable. And get it actually where it's going to spawn into the game. So, since I made a bunch of changes to it, I got to export it out. So we've got to go File, Export Selection with Export. Hang on, let's try that again. So I'm going to go File, Export Selection with Files. It's going to be in the Placeables folder. It's going to be under the main farm, and it's going to be Farmhouse 4. So I'm actually going to save that, and I'm going to override that house that's in the file. Now, in order to get this spawning in as a placeable, we have some XML work to do. So let's pull up my XML. So this is the placeables for the map. So far I've got like the vehicle trader and animal trader and gas station, and then just the buying station and the vehicle shop and animal dealer kind of stuff. Now I pulled that farmhouse in from the mountain, Richie's mountain map. So let's go File, Documents, My Games, Farm Sim, Mods, Richie's mountain, Maps, Config. I'm going to open up the Placeables file because I want to grab all of this from Farmhouse 4 so I don't have to recreate it. I'm going to copy it and we're going to drop it into this Placeables folder. Now I'm going to come down here. Let's leave a couple extra spaces. And then right above it, I'm going to go main farm. Just so I have a title of what's in, like these are all my selling stations, this is my gas station, and then that's just a vehicle shop. But this gives, I'm going to put all of our main farm stuff here, and actually can get rid of that space in there. So this is going to be, so the placeables XML, the map reads the placeables XML, the placeables XML is going to spawn all your buildings in. So everything here is correct. So we have the map directory, map placeables, main farm, farmhouse 4. So in our map folder, it's Richie Swamp, map, placeables, main farm, farmhouse 4. So that path has to be the same as your files in the map. It has to have a unique ID, which is the only farmhouse 4 we have on the map, so I don't need to change any of that. Start with the farmhouse true. We just need to change the position and the rotation for this map. So let's bring the farmhouse up. I'm going to grab this location here. I'm going to copy it. We are going to put that here. This tells it where to spawn in. Our height is 25, so we have a different height on this map than the farmhouse on the other map. I'm going to grab this location. And then our rotation is minus 180, 0, minus 180. So we just got to go minus 180, 0, minus 180. So we can save that. So that's going to tell the map where to spawn the farmhouse in. Now let's go back to the file for Ritchie's Mountain. We're going to go back to config. I need the store. And I also need I just need to store. So in the store folder, we need farmhouse 4, so I need this because it has to be in two other places in the map file. So this is the store file for Ritchie Swamp. All this is greened out because none of this is in the map yet. So we're going to put that in here. So it's going to tell the map, yes, we want to see farmhouse 4. And it also has to be in the mod description. And so we're going to tell the map, the game, yes, we want to see farmhouse 4 spawn into the game. So now I can come in here. Now that we have it all saved, here's the bravery test. We're going to delete it out. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to grab my texture. I believe it was straight up asphalt. And I just want to paint that in. So now let's save the map again. Let that save. Now we're going to go into Ritchie Swamp. Now I'm going to open up this outside of the map because we have to zero this out or it's not going to spawn in the correct location. So we're going to zero that out and save it and close it. Now when we go back in game, that farmhouse should spawn in as a placeable. That'll allow you to sell it where it'll no longer be on the farm. Again, I want to make sure it's spawning in as a placeable and it's in the right location. So let's jump back in here. Let's jump back in game, and I go into the game like 100 times as I build. So let's pull this up and we should see main farmyard, which is right there. So our house is, and we got the picture, so that's working. So let's visit it. Perfect. So it's right where I want it to spawn in. Now I can take flight if I want. And it's going to spawn in like right where I want it. Now those extra hedges we'll get rid of. So I'll have our main driveway coming in, and then we'll have a driveway over this way going probably to a field over here. And then this road, this road here is going to go over into where all of our main farmyard complex is going to be, which we're going to start working on that next time. So the map is spawning in and it's acting as a placeable just like I want it to. So let's get out of here. Now, I need to bring it back into the game. So I'm going to go File, Import, because we have to do all the grass and the trees and everything else around it. So I'm going to bring that into the game. And that's going to put it at 0, 0, 0, 0. So now we have to tell it where we want it. So we're going to go back to our placeables file. We're going to grab this location. So it's going to be minus 180, 0, minus 180. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to come up here. I'm going to go Shift V. And we're going to go minus 180, minus 180. So that's going to put it exactly where we want it in game. So now I want to finish this off. So let's go foliage, let's go square, we're going to go meadow, harvest ready, and I'm going to limit the texture just to grass. This way when we go to paint the meadow in, I don't have to be really clean. It's just not going to paint it on the concrete, it's only going to paint it on the grass. So let's finish the house complex itself. Now, I should have there's a higher fence. I went with the lower hedge. I liked the lower hedge a little bit better. Now, here's where we get to play. So let's go. Deco foliage. So let's see what this one looks like. Nope, don't want that one. Tall white weed, nope. Crimson, nope. Okay, so that's probably the one I want to use. So what I want to do is let's take the brush down as small as I want to get it. Yeah, and I think I want to line the driveway with some flowers going back. Now they look a little bit fatter on one side than the other side. I could probably live with that. Or we can try something else just a little bit different. Let's back that off. Back that one off. Let's turn off limit texture to grass, and it'll allow me to put it a little bit closer to the driveway. And we'll get a little bit more even line on both sides. Yeah, so we'll end that kind of there, and we'll bring it up around the front of the house as well. And we have a garage on this side, so let's, I want room, oh, and I want to leave room for the dog house, so we'll probably put the dog house like right in here. So let's throw some flowers along here as well. And you know what, since it looks really good, so let's bring that. And now we can even do a little flower patch right here in the backyard, fill in that bald spot. Line up the back porch with it. And then I'm going to go make sure that, now, problem with me doing that is it's going to probably put some And we'll have to go in game to take a walk through the house and go look at all the rooms. It's probably going to put some grass inside of the house. Yeah, see, it does. So now you got to come inside the house, and you got to back it back out. I normally don't put grass and flowers and stuff along the house, because this is what happens when you do it. It bleeds through inside the house. Let me take my speed down to just 1, so it'll allow me to go like really, really slow. Yes, you know, all the rooms now. So okay, so I don't like that. So let's so there's an easier fix for it. So let's go. We're gonna back all of this back off. Let's get the grass out from around the house. So let's back that one off. We'll back that one off. So now we're just back to just the driveway. So now if we come back in here, now if I line this, it's not going to end up inside of the house. Because I underpainted the house with asphalt. So now we come back here, we go limit to grass. Now it's not going to go inside of the house, it's only going to stay on the grass. So it shouldn't bleed into the house, and the only way we're going to be able to see it now is if we go in game and take a look at it. Again, we can fill in this bald spot where I missed the grass. But we'll leave it like that, and we'll see what it looks like when we go in game. We'll be able to see if it's bleeding into the house. Because that'll drive me nuts, because you could actually enter this house. So I don't have a lot of trees in the map yet, so let's come down here. And I got to keep an eye on my time. So it's 6:15 in real life. I've got to get to bed soon. I get up at 3 a.m. from work. I'm usually in bed about 7:30, so we'll go a little bit longer. So they're in the so what I have them is in the map folder. So my map folder, there's a trees file, and we have all these trees. They're in the game files, but they're not in the game yet. So let me put them in a spot where I'm not going to have to move them for a while. Yeah, it's fine. Let's put them over here. So I'm going to create a new transform group, and I'm just going to stick it here. I'm going to call it remove trees. This way I can remove this whole transform group when we're done building the house. So let's go file, import. Unfortunately, I've got to import these one at a time, because there's no and there's different sizes to each tree. And I'm going to go edit, cut. I want to put them inside of this transform group, and I'll probably do the rest of this off camera. So we're going to go file, import, giant sequoia 2, edit, cut, remove trees. So that's size 2. And we'll go file, import. I'll probably import the rest of these off camera. Edit, cut, and paste. So these are our 3 giant sequoias. You're not the one I wanted. I wanted this one. And let's go file, import, dogwood, stage 1. Edit, cut, put it in here. And we'll throw you here. Size 2. And we'll throw up, you're good where you are. And we'll go File, Import, we'll bring in size 3. That's fine, you can go there. So those are the dogwoods. So File, Import. Let's bring in the pine. Now there's 6 different stages to the pine. So Edit, Cut, Paste. So pine stage 2. Pine stage 3. Nope. Crap. Edit, cut, and paste. This way when I go to remove them, I can just remove the whole transform group. And then you'll go there. And we'll bring in stage 4. Put you there. I'll bring in stage 5. Let's see. So stage 4, let's pull it over a little bit and down. Okay, let's pull these over a little bit further. Stage 2. Stage 1. So what was the last one we brought in? Stage 5. So stage 6 will be the tallest one. Cut and paste. So put you back here. So File, Import. Dead ones I won't need to bring in. Ponderosa Pine, stage 1. Stage 2. Stage 3. Oh, there's different, okay, so I see there's variations. That's fine. Stage cut, paste, stick you there, and then the last one. So we'll look at that one. And then we have the spruce. Cut. These will be more important once we get building forests. And then stage 3. And then the variation stage 1. Yeah. that one. Now I also brought in some of my trees from the other map that I already have, that I've already been using, but I wanted to get these in. I want to put some of, I may put some of these in the yard of the farmhouse, and then maybe one or two of the pine trees, and then maybe a few of these. So let's go up to, let's open up the farmhouse. No, we're going to plant them right on the map. If you want to get rid of trees, you're going to have to move them yourself. So I should already have a transform group that says trees. So that's a blank. I'm going to duplicate that. This way it'll give me a transform group empty that I can always use. We're going to name this one main farm. Now I think I want to grab, let's come down here to the trees we're going to remove. I don't want to grab this one, so I'm going to duplicate it. And we're going to go edit, cut. We're going to throw it up into the main farm folder. And I think I'm going to grab this one. So let's duplicate that. So go edit, cut. Let's move it up to main farm. Because those will keep in the map, but this whole group will remove when we're done. And I think I'm going to go with the tall, skinny one. Yeah, let's go with the tall, skinny one as well. Let's play around with these. So let me duplicate that one. Let's go edit, cut, main farm, and paste. All right. So we've got a couple trees we can use to decorate the farmhouse with. So I'm going to grab that one actually, edit, interactive placement. I want to stick one back in this corner. And I think I may go back and grab the shorter one. They may be a little bit too tall. No, so we're going to have some taller trees on the farm. Yeah, that's fine. So let's duplicate that. We'll stick one about here while it's moving up to the front. And we'll put one maybe there. Let's throw one here. Oh, crap. Throw one there. I'm not sure if I'm liking that. They're way too tall. I think I'm going to go with the shorter one. I don't like any of those. So you and you. Let's bring this one up. And let's bring this one up. And again, these are both going to be too big for this property. So let's delete that one out. We're going to delete that one out. Let's go grab some of the smaller trees, because they're way too big for that. So I'm going to actually come up here. We're going to grab this guy. So let's duplicate that one. All right, let's get rid of farmhouse. Let's close that. So you're the one I want. A main farm. So edit, cut. We're going to throw you into main farm. So that's going to be that one. And let's go with this smaller tree. Do I want the smaller one? Let's go with this guy. So let's duplicate him. And let's go edit, cut, main farm. So it gives me a pine, and it gives me a bushier tree. And then let me grab let's grab one of these as well. So let me duplicate that. Let's go edit, cut, main farm, and let's play around with those 3 trees. So let's go edit, interactive placement. Let's bring that one over. Let's bring that one over. And let's bring that one over. Yeah, that one's going to be a little bit better. It's not as tall. So let's get one kind of in that corner. Yeah, I'm gonna like that much better. Let's grab this little guy and let's put him over here. And let's grab the American elm. Now, I don't want to block in the farm coming in, so I'm going to offset him a little bit. Let's put one on this side. I actually like that. Let's put one on this side. Let's throw another one on this side. And then let's grab, where's the other one? This one. Let's bring one up to the front corner. Let's bring one over to this corner. Yeah, I like that much better. And then I'm going to take that little dogwood. Now what I'm going to do with him is I'm going to leave it, I'm going to go Control B, and that gives him, it free floats it actually to where I can move it anywhere I want. And if I go Shift, I can pretty much place them where I want them. And then they become independent trees of themselves. But I think that's it. I don't think I'm going to leave the rest of this open. I think that's going to be it for the farm itself, or the main house itself. So we can get down to actually, I think there's a ground level view, but don't ask me how to get into it. You can actually view it from here, first person. So you can actually see what it looks like in game by going into first person. So we can actually, can we go into the house and see if any of the flowers are sticking in? We can, but it's not operational because we're not in game. But we can actually go in here now and see if any of those flowers are sticking in the house. And I don't think they are, so we should be good. But yeah, so we can have, now we're running into collisions, so we got to work our way back out through the door. Alright. So yeah, you can go into first person view and then actually see what it looks like while you're in game. How do I get out of that view? I've never used it. I don't know how to get out of that view. I can't steal my cursor. Great. Oh, there we go. Alright, let's get out of that view. Alright. So that's going to be that. So I'm going to, we can't leave the farmhouse in the map when we go in game, but we're not going to go in game, so I'm going to leave it there for now. But we really don't need to because we know where it's going to be. So I can actually go ahead and delete that out, and we know exactly where it's going to be. We'll probably spawn that in quite often. So I'm thinking somewhere about where this road is I want a large silo. Can I just get rid of you for now? I can. All right. So I think it's somewhere in here. I want a large silo. So I actually found one on the in-game I thought I brought it in. Yeah, grain farm silo. So let's go into 7-zip. Let's unzip it. Let's come in here. I actually want to take a look at it. There's a couple different silos. There's silo 1, silo 2. So silo 1 is just going to be a single tank. Silo 2, oh, maybe it's not what I wanted. Grain silo. Yeah, that's the one I want. So we're going to look at the grain silo. Oh, let me bring my speed back up a little bit. Yeah, so I want a nice big grain silo in the map. So let's go file, export selection with files. We're going to go Richie Swamp map, placeables, main farm, and we're going to call it grain silo. That's going to import it into the map. Now, with that, so Richie Swamp map, placeables, main farm. So we have the grain silo in there. I'm going to need the XML with it. So let's copy that. We're going to pop that into the map file. I also need the store icon. Let's copy that, paste that in there, and let's look at the icon. Yeah, so we're also going to need the icon. I'm going to copy that, but I'm going to go map placeables icons, and it's going to go in this folder because they spawn in, and I'll explain that to you a little bit, but that has to be in that folder. So now we can go in game. We have everything in our map files now. So let's go file, import, grain silo. And let's plop her there for a minute. So what I want to do is I want that kind of sort of there, and then we're going to start building our farm barns and our yard, our farm sheds and stuff around this silo. And then once we get all of our farm buildings in and our garages and sheds and all that, I want to use this area here for all of our animal pens. So the height, I think, looks good. Yep, nothing's floating. Now, is that exactly where I want it? I think I want to move it over a little bit further. Again, that road was just painted in temporarily, but let's put that'll leave me room to put sheds and stuff along here. Now, do I want it on dirt or do I want it on concrete? I think I'm going to put it on concrete. So let's go texture. We're on asphalt. We're on, let's change that to square. And let's put this on a concrete pad. Again, we're probably going to extend this concrete pad because I'm not sure how big this farm complex is going to be yet until we start bringing buildings in. But I want to start defining its own area. So we can start defining where our main site, our main farm complex is going to be. And again, we'll make room to drive around it and stuff, but this gives me a start. And we're probably going to end up, most of this farm complex is just going to end up being asphalt. But then what I can also do is we can bring our road over. And start defining where this road coming in is going to be. And we're going to have to spawn that in as a placeable, just like the house. But I'm going to leave it in the map until we get all of our farm buildings in. So what I'll probably end up doing is bringing this out to where our road comes in. And we'll have other sheds and stuff here anyway, so. That'll start defining that area. So that's where it's going to be in game. Now we get back to so let's go back to placeables. Let's go back to main farm. We have to open up the grain silo XML. So okay, so it's going to be grain silo. That is fine. Function is just going to be grain silo. Now the path has to be identical to the farmhouse. So I'm going to come in, I'm going to bring up the farmhouse XML. Do I have it open? I do not. So this is the mountain map. I can close that one so I don't accidentally make a change to it. This is the mountain map. Let's close that one so I don't actually make a change to it. So let's bring up the farmhouse. So our path is going to be map placeables main farm. Path for the grain silo is going to be map placeables main farm store. The path to the i3D has to be map placeables main farm grain silo. Can be sold true, show and store true, so they can stay there. That is fine. Placeable silo, building silo, so all of this is correct. We don't need to change any of that. Bought with the farmland true, can be renamed true. That is perfect. Loading trigger, fill liters per second, we're going to bump that up to 20,000. We don't want it filling really slow into our vehicles. Sound is fine. Now our unload station, we're going to change this. Right now it's just listed for individual fill types. And then our storage. So let's go into, I'm going to change this up a little bit. Let's go to the mountain map. Let's go into map placeables main farm. I'm going to open up the farm silo here. I'll grab a quick sip of coffee or tea so I'm not coughing in your ear. Alright, so this one's listed as an unload station. This one's listed as an unload station. I'm going to grab this whole thing. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to put it underneath here for a minute. So I'm going to look at them side by side. So we have our exact fill route node. This one does not have a bale trigger, and this one does not have a pallet trigger. So in order for me to make this grain silo work properly in our map, we're going to have to add a bale trigger to it and a pallet trigger to it. And then we're going to change up the fill types to fill type categories under farm silo, and now it'll hold all of our bulk. And then we have to change up the storage as well. So I need a bale trigger and I need a pallet trigger. Let's actually look at it. Sometimes they're built in, just not turned on. So if we come into the grain silo and we go into the silo, we go into the loading station. No, we go into the unloading station. And there's no bale trigger and there's no pallet trigger. So let's open up the, let's go back to the folder for this silo. Let's open it up. And we're going to come in here, we're going to go into unload station. We're going to grab the bale trigger, we're going to go file, export selection with triggers. We're going to go bale trigger. And I'm going to grab the pallet trigger as well. So we're going to go file, export selection, pallet trigger. So now I have those two triggers in the map. So what I'm actually going to do is, I like where this silo is, so I'm going to jot down, because I'm going to export it out and we're going to fix it and import it back in. Well, I'm going to delete it from the map, we're going to fix it and then import it back in. But I like where it is. So I'm going to go minus 544.579. I'm going to go 25 is the height, and we're going to go 164.008.000 on the rotation. So I know exactly where my farmhouse is going to be. I want to fix this because it doesn't have the proper trigger. So let's delete it out. Save the map. I'm not going to go too much longer because I do need to get some sleep for work tomorrow. So let's open it up in the map file. So there's our grain silo. Now, it's raised up off the ground a little bit. So let's go back into here, let's go back into silo, let's go back into unload station. So this is off the ground a little bit. So 0.08 is our height, or 0.8 is our height. I want to get our other two triggers in that same height. So we're going to go file, import. I'm going to bring in the bale trigger. I'm going to go edit, cut. I'm going to put it in this transform group. I'm going to take these three coordinates. I'm going to go Shift C, and then over here I'm going to go Shift V, and it's going to put it in exactly where I want it. And we're going to go File, Import. We're going to bring in the pallet trigger, and I'm going to go Edit, Cut. I'm going to throw it in here. And I'm also going to go Shift. Oh, I'm going to have to do that again. All right. So let's come over here. Let's go Shift C and Shift V. So that's going to give us our pallet trigger as well. So now that we have those two in location, the XML is not going to read them yet. So we have to go back to the XML, and we have our exact fill root note, but we don't have the bail trigger and the pallet trigger. Oh, I have no idea what, oh, solar panels. Well, we're going to disable those. All right, so we have our, yeah, that's the solar panels we don't need because it's just a grain silo. So let's get rid of those. Now I can get rid of all of these. Now let's get back to our exact fill root note, which was here. So that's going to read here. So we're going to come into this farm silo because we also need the bail trigger and the pallet trigger. So I'm going to grab these two because we have to i3D map them in this folder. And then we're going to grab this coordinate. I'm going to copy it here. And I'm going to copy it here. And then we're going to change by 1 digit. So our exact fill root node is, so our bail trigger is now 4.3.3 up here. So our bail trigger, that was the bail trigger, right? Yes, our bail trigger is going to be 4.3-3-3. And then our pallet trigger should be 434. So that becomes 434. So now the map is, now the game is going to read the exact fill root, the bail trigger, and the pallet trigger. So this one we're going to eliminate because we want it to read this one. So let's save that. Our unload station should be fine. We shouldn't need to make any changes on there except for the fill type categories. I think it needs to read the same as this one. So let's go to the unload station on the farm silo here. And the fill type category is farm silo. So let's grab this and replace this one. So this way it reads properly on the way my map is set up. So we have the loading station and the unload station fixed. Let's take a look at storages. We're actually going to change it so it reads farm silo and it holds 1 billion liters. So we're going to come back in here, we're going to change this up as well. So now it's going to read and fill properly with all of my fill types. Now to get my custom icons in, we're going to change those as well. So we're going to change this one because we don't want it reading the generic in-game one. We want it reading my custom icons. And then we're going to want that one. So the XML should be fixed now to work with this silo. It's going to read it in my map in the proper location. It's going to read the store picture in its proper location. So I close that one. And then we are going to save this because it has the new triggers in it. And we're going to close it. There we go. So now we're going to import it back into the map. It has the proper triggers. So grain silo. Now I'm going to tell it where to move it. Minus 544.579. Height is going to be 25. And then it's going to be at 164.008. So that's exactly where we had it. And now it has the new triggers. So it'll work properly. So So now we have the bale trigger and the pallet trigger. So now it has all of its triggers, so it's going to work properly. Now I'm not going to spawn it in as a placeable yet because I want to build the entire farm complex around it. So we're going to leave it in game for now. So we're not going to be able to see if it's working properly. So let's save that. I'm going to get out of here in a minute. I'm going to look at one other set of buildings I brought in for this map. I have not looked at them yet. There should be a... was it the old school pack? It is. So let's go 7-zip. Let's unzip that for a minute. And I actually want to look at... Yeah, so I think I might want to use these. A carport. There's a garage. And then there's a storage barn. I think I want to use these in the map. Is there a lot of... Okay, there's not a lot of texture, so the file size will be pretty small. Now the icon we're going to have to change. We're going to need one for every building, but that'll be a problem for another day. So what I think I want to do, let's just take a quick peek at these, and we're going to probably bring them into the map. Ooh. So this is color selectable. I'm not going to be able to make it color selectable. Well, maybe. Now, if we come down here, I had diffuse. There's a way to change the color. I have not done it forever. So I'm not going to bring them in if they can only spawn them in yellow. Okay, now see this one's messed up because the doors are different. I'm not going to import this into the map. I'm going to go find something else I can use. Yeah, I don't like these at all. All right, so I'm not going to import those in the map. I'll try and find another pack. So this one I'm just going to delete. I'm not going to use it. This one I'm going to delete. I'm not going to use it because I don't like those at all. There was nothing else in the way of buildings I brought in so far. So let's close that. And then, but I'm going to call it here. I'm Oldman102. Please smash that like and subscribe on your way out and have an awesome day.